It's over. Summer of torture. Sit down, boy. I'm torturing me. Oh my God, 3 months. Sing, chorus, sing. Oh my God, Mark Haynes, are you ready, dude? I don't know if you understand what it feels like to be a Warriors fan and see this just finally be over.
I can only imagine.
Warriors, man. Like maybe you get it. I don't know. How you doing, man? Good to see you.
I'm good, man. I'm obviously not doing as good as you and Warriors fans right now because this is a grand day. Like I feel like history was made.
We could finally talk basketball. Of course, we're going to talk about the Kings as well. Your team. You went to media day. We both have stories. But we're going to lead it off with the headline, and that's Jonathan Kuminga. The standoff is over, and just like that, I'm feeling damn good about my Warriors, Mark. And we're going to talk about them. We're talking about the Kings. The audience is with us. You ready, Meng?
Let's go.
Welcome to the I80 Crossover. Oh, you could follow Mark Haynes on all social media platforms at Mark Haynes NBA. He hosts Bleav In Kings. You can follow me, Cyrus Saatsaz, on Threads and Instagram at Dog Wild, on Twitter at Surf Journalist. My program on both platforms at Golden Days Pod, presented by FanDuel, the official sportsbook of the Bleav network of Golden Days, and hopefully soon of Bleav In Kings. We're working on that. Welcome, everybody, to a program that we do every Tuesday night. Mark Haynes and yours truly. We merge our programs just to talk hoops. We're talking about our teams. We're talking about whatever is relevant and important. Mark, we're going to break down this Kaminga thing. There's a lot of news that went down today. Who knew that all it would take is Steve Kerr announcing that this could be his last year for Jonathan Kuminga to go, okay, fine, I'll do the 2-year 48. Okay, you got a deal.
That's what happened.
Like that, though. How you doing, man? Good to see you.
Man, I'm good, man. I'm happy that we could talk basketball now. We have, training camp has started one day in. The Kaminga story is over. We know where he's going. Kings fans could finally relax and start. Well, I don't know if they should relax, but they could give up hope on Jonathan Kuminga right now. We say
yes,
that, right?
Yes. Well, and again, are you? Let's really quickly start there. Are you, as a representative of the Kings fan base, are you relieved that this is over in the sense that the conversation surrounding Kaminga to the Kings is essentially over? Does it matter to you?
So a little bit of both. It doesn't matter to me, but I am relieved that is over because now. Like, I feel like now I won't sound like a hater when people, like, I get asked all the time, like, are we going to get Kaminga or whatever? And I'm like, I don't think so. I was like, from day one, I think I did a pod. And I was like, sure, it sounds nice in theory. It can happen in theory, but I was like, I just don't think it's going to go down. And at that time, I probably wouldn't have did the episode if I would have knew it was gonna take 3 months for the Warriors to re-sign him or whatever.
Oh my God.
But yeah, so it's kind of like a relief for me to say, like, now I don't have to answer that question anymore. I'm not happy that I was right, but from the jump, I just didn't see. I thought it was a little too much to for it to all go down. You got to trade Malik Monk or Keegan Murray and. First round draft picks, and not to say that if it was me, I wouldn't have pulled the trigger or whatever. But when I the people I talked to or whatever, I was like, it looks like it's just too much.
Well, and you had to buy into the premise that Joe Lacob was going to help the Kings, right?
Exactly.
And that's an interdivisional rival. I don't know what the relationship is with Joe Lacob and Vivek.
They would all have to join the I80 crossover because that's what's good. That's what would be happening.
Right.
So yeah,
Right.
I think we're the only crazy people that's able to do it or whatever. I didn't see Lacob and the Warriors, gifting the Kings Jonathan Kuminga. I didn't see it.
No, not a lot of gifts handed out in the NBA in general, unless your team name is the Los Angeles Lakers. Then the NBA will literally package for you megastars like Luka Doncic, like LeBron James. Man, they just get gifts. The face of the NBA, in the same way that the Cowboys are like America's team, right? That's the nickname in the NFL. I feel like the Lakers are America's team for the NBA, and maybe rightfully so, but not to the point where you're just handing them, talent. Like let them earn that shit, man. But I digress. Anyways, well, let's get into it. First and foremost, Jonathan Kuminga. It is official. The Warriors even issued a press release. The contract is signed. Kuminga could be in practice as early as tomorrow. Signs a 2-year, $48.5 million contract. Mark, dude, we spent 3 months talking about this bullshit, dude. For 3 months. 3 years, 75, 2 years, 48. What's his value if he goes to the market? What could it be like? So I did. Oh my God, man. Like every episode for the last 3 months, you can go back and look at, watch and laugh at it, dude. It could literally just be background content while you take a nap. It's crazy because it's all irrelevant now, man, to a certain extent. But insane.
No, you're absolutely right. Like, I think the last, every time, we get an alert, like when you go live or whatever, your show and Golden Days pops up, and it's always Jonathan Kuminga this, Jonathan Kuminga that. And then I realized that I'm covering the Kings and doing Bleav In Kings, and my titles are Jonathan Kuminga, Jonathan Kuminga. So this is definitely draining. And for the fan, I'm happy for the Bay Area fans that, especially if they're happy. I'd imagine you're happy to get Kaminga back or whatever.
It isn't just that the fan base it depends on who you ask, right? Everyone has different opinions and values and wants. Yes, I do think this kid has potential. Who knows how they're going to use him this year? I think what I'm really elated about is besides the fact that we can finally talk basketball, more importantly, this Warriors team, like our program here, Golden Days, and that includes every Tuesday night for Bleav In Kings. Mm-hmm. This program is going to be a voice of optimism. I love this Warriors team now, man. You know what? I want to. On that note, I want to go to FanDuel's website real fast because
it changed already.
Yeah, I want to see exactly. I want to see if there's any changes. More specifically, for about a month now, FanDuel's had the opening day, night, whatever lines where the Warriors were going to play the Lakers. There's also lines, by the way, for the first Kings game too. I want to visit that as well. And there's oh my God, there's lines for preseason games. Are you kidding me? That's degenerate level gambling. If you're putting money down on preseason, you might need to seek help. No disrespect, but look, man. I mean, preseason. I mean, there's no chance in hell you could guess that. That is literally gambling at its finest. But the opening night line remains between the Warriors and the Lakers. Lakers favored by 3.5. Warriors plus 3.5. This all courtesy again of FanDuel, the official sponsor, and sportsbook of Bleav In Golden Days. The line plus 138, the money line for the Warriors. OU is 225.5. I'm already feeling great about the Warriors. Take that money line. Forget the plus 3.5. Bet the plus 138 for them to win outright. And that basically means if you're not following or you're not up to date with gambling lingo, the plus 138 means you bet 100 to win 138. If that line was minus 138, you'd bet 138 to win 100. I hope that makes sense for you folks. So the fact that the Warriors have a plus sign in terms of betting them to win outright, those are good odds. And it's plus 138. I love that line. And let me look real quick and see what the Kings are looking, what their line's looking at. So they have a game listed for October 22nd. It's Sacramento Kings at the Phoenix Suns. And I can't believe these lines are out. This is crazy. The Suns are favored by 1.5 at home. The visiting Kings, the OU's 228.5. What would you bet on, Mark, if you were a betting man? Are you a betting man, by the way? Like, do you bet on sports or anything?
I'm getting into it because it's so interesting. Like the odds and everything or whatever, and then people are winning a lot of money, and it looks easy. So I'm getting into it, but with my lack of knowledge and expertise in betting, so the you said 1.5 in favor of Phoenix.
Correct. Yeah, it's basically a coin toss when it's that close.
Yeah, that's what I would go that direction just because it's close to a 50% chance right there. So that's where I would go in that.
And when the line is that close, the money line isn't nearly as favorable. The Kings,
right?
If you bet on them to win, it's -102. So I would recommend just betting on them to win outright because you get -102 odds, which is basically even. And if you bet the +1.5, it's -115. So you don't get quite as good odds at that point.
You go to 138 or whatever it was.
Yeah, that was for the Warriors line. But for the Kings, if you bet the money line for them to win in Phoenix, and I wouldn't hate that bet, man. I don't think Phoenix is going to be a good team at all. The Kings are -102. We shall see, man. How are you feeling about your Kings real fast? Because we've got a Kings audience as well, and we're not going to ignore them. First of all, what's your starting five? Let's start there. Do you know?
Starting five, it'd have to go Dennis Schroeder, Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Keegan Murray, Domantas Sabonis. I think
bad.
Yeah, I don't see any changes really happening or whatever. I don't see LaVine or DeMar or any. Yeah, I wouldn't understand moving Keegan. So I think that's going to be the starting five, like for sure. Although Malik Monk has. He had his time last year where he got to be in the starting position, but I think even if you ask him, I think he's a guy that just likes to play basketball. So if you want him to be the sixth man, like that was a role he thrived in when the Kings had that playoff year or whatever. So I think I'm very optimistic about this season because of the vibe that I got at Media Day. And obviously I'm probably living in the moment. And Media Day is always like everybody feels good at Media Day.
Unless you're the Warriors, but yeah.
Yeah, unless you're the Warriors. That was strange. So now like y'all, the Warriors Media Day or good feeling day is gonna be whenever Jonathan Kuminga arrives. Exactly. And not even just Jonathan Kuminga, because we forgot about Seth Curry.
We've got some news today. You're absolutely right. And Mark, you surprised me because when the Kuminga news first dropped, there was a lot of speculation about whether Seth Curry was also coming. There technically is not enough salary cap space to sign him immediately. The reported plan regarding Seth, and again, you texted me to tell me it's actually official. I was like, wait, what? When Shams tweets it, there's some truth behind it 99% of the time. And and so apparently, like the way this is going to break down, Seth Curry is going to be a member of the Golden State Warriors. That is fantastic news in my book. Let me change the logo on the screen, by the way. I apologize. I just noticed that right now. That should be a Bleav in Kings logo above you. There we go. But look, man, I think the Seth Curry edition is fantastic. I've been wanting him back on the Warriors for years, plural. And it's not like 100% of the fan base is behind it type of thing. You have a lot of people who criticize him for his size, who may be criticizing him for his age. I hear people say that the team has enough guards. I can't tell you enough, man. This guy can play. Seth Curry can play basketball. He can play defense. He is one of the elite shooters in the NBA. Literally, like he's one of the best. Steph, his older brother, the best ever. But Seth, his younger brother, also son of Del Curry and Sony, is that the mom? Amazing shooter. I think he shot 43% from deep last year. You now have the Curry brothers back. You have a Warriors team with one focus in mind, and that's a title. Steve Kerr, the way he's speaking. Do you want to hear the soundbite from him, by the way? Because I don't know if you knew this, Mark. Yesterday's media day for the Warriors, was that yesterday? It feels like a week ago. Was absent of Kerr and Mike Dunleavy Jr. They did not participate. Is that weird to you?
Yeah, I didn't know that. No,
that's what Warriors Media Day was. There pretty much wasn't a media day. It was just a super early 9 a.m. start time, which in itself is bizarre.
Yeah.
There were no lights. There was like they secluded the stars in the practice facility, which is another part of the building that no one was told about, and that's where Malika Andrews was hiding out with Steph and Jimmy and Dre, and those three came out for a bit to talk to the Tier 1 media, and then they just went right back to that practice area. So the whole vibe of media day yesterday for the Warriors was a stinker, man. It was not a true media day. But again, a day later, we're suddenly getting some great news, and Steve Kerr did make himself available for the press today. Mm-hmm. And of course, it was for the Tier 1s. And are you Tier 1, by the way? How did the Kings manage that tier system? Are you Tier 1 or no?
No, so I'm 2.
Okay.
Most of the time.
Same.
But I get 1 privileges here and there or whatever. So I'm like up and down.
Makes sense.
On that borderline.
Makes sense. Makes perfect sense. So anyway, Steve Kerr was made himself available today for the Tier 1s. Anytime you see someone interviewed with this backdrop and this setting, I'll show you what I mean right now. This clip courtesy of Anthony Slater. This is the backdrop and interview setting for their practice facility, which is within Chase Center, different part of the building. And Steve Kerr made some waves today with this clip where he basically is telling the world this might be the final year for him as head coach of the Warriors. He will not sign an extension until after the season. And again, this is why I joke that the moment Steve Kerr said this was before the Jonathan Kuminga news became official. So it is funny that Steve Kerr comes out and goes, yeah, this is, I'm not going to sign an extension. Well, I won't even look at the contract situation until after the season. This might be my last year. And then like 10 minutes later, Jonathan Kuminga signs an extension. It's comical. I'm sure it's a coincidence with the timing, but nonetheless, it is funny. And here is Steve Kerr talking about the fact that this might be his last year as head coach of the Warriors, meaning this year's Warriors could represent the metaphorical last dance. Here is Steve Kerr.
I did want to ask you about your own future. 1 year left on your deal. Obviously, Steph, Jim, you got a couple. Do you want to be lined up with them? How do you just view kind of your current contract situation?
I'm very comfortable just, going into this season with a year left. I'm so aligned with Mike and Joe that, we talked about this. There's no reason for discussion, concern. This is kind of a point in our relationship where it's like, let's just see how it is at the end of the year. And I love my job. I love what I'm doing every day, and can't wait to get to the building. And hopefully I'm here for another few years. But I think it makes sense for the organization and for me just to see where this thing is at the end of the year, where they are, where I am, and hopefully that means we run it back and we keep going with this group, and that'd be awesome. But I like the fact that we can just kind of do it how we want to do it.
So you anticipate not even having negotiations?
Yeah, until I don't anticipate any negotiation
until the offseason.
Yeah, during the season, and who knows? Maybe it all comes up at some point. They come to me, whatever. But I'm not the slightest bit concerned about it. I don't think about it. I just think it makes perfect sense for all of us. I've said this before, I think, but however this ends, it's going to be done in a really quality way. It's going to happen the right way. If it's meant to be for me to keep going, then I'm going to keep going. And if it's meant to be for the team to move on to somebody else, there will be nothing but gratitude and appreciation. So this makes it easy for everybody. Let's see where we are at the end of the year.
And again, one way or another, yes, we're going to celebrate if that time comes. Mark, your reaction to Steve Kerr's words there. KS in the chat real quick saying that Kerr said this exact same thing a year ago. It was not nearly at this level. Kerr has been saying the 1 year at a time thing, but I don't recall it being this serious. This feels real. Your thoughts, Mark?
Yeah, no, it's always strange or it feels weird when you hear, a coach or even a player or whatever, speak like this on a contract year. But at the same time, if I understand it as far as maybe it doesn't mean it's the end, but it could, like you said, it could very well be the last dance because the implications are all there.
Yeah.
But it could also mean I'm so the Warriors aren't getting rid of me. If I decide to come back, they're going to take me, and it's really on what I want to do. And then at the same time too, what is Steph Curry and Draymond go do? If I kind of really don't see a scenario that ends with if they can pick if Steve Kerr and Steph and Dre can pick, I think if it would be all their last year whenever that time happens. And I think that's just the storybook, scenario. So I would say if I'm going to take Steve Kerr seriously as this might be it, the question of is this it for Steph would have to start, but I don't think that's happening. So that's kind of how I take it.
Well, that's a good point because it's weird to picture Steph playing for a coach not named Steve Kerr. I mean, they are synonymous, pretty much attached to the hip at this point. Steve Kerr is the Steph Curry whisperer. Mike Dunleavy Jr. A few months back, pretty much the last time we talked to the press, talk about one of the cushiest jobs imaginable, being the Warriors GM this summer. What did you do?
Yeah,
just wait. I talked to Aaron Turner once or twice. I went to Europe and scouted some players, and it's an incredible job. I mean, what do you think Dunleavy makes in a year? $1 million? And for a quarter of that, he just sat around and just sipped pina coladas, and hell of a job, man. Nice work.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So,
sounds great to me.
Absolutely. Real quick, we'll save the idea of Kerr leaving and who replaces him for another show. I bring that up because Ball Boy in the chat's mentioning, would Terry Stotts be a good replacement if Kerr leaves? Yeah, I mean, look, there's a lot of names we could bring up. Again, Brent Barry is my top pick. I think he would be a seamless name to where similar background to Steve Kerr, not as many rings, but and a better player, much better player. But as a commentator, we first heard him speak, and I think most people were impressed. The guy has a good basketball mind. I have a bias clearly in the sense that he's Rick's son, and I'd love to get a Warriors Legends boy in there. But what would you think, real quick, about on this while we're on this topic? Because I'm going to dedicate a show to this soon. What would you think about Valkyrie's head coach Natalie Nakase? Is the world ready for a WNBA coach to take over an NBA team?
That would be amazing. I think when I look at the type of organization that would have to, and I'm trying to say it correctly. I don't want to say a task, but it will be a spectacle. It will be monumental. It would be huge for whatever organization decides to hire the first female head coach. And when I think about an organization that can handle that type of environment that would create, I think the Warriors are up there at the top. I can see the way the Warriors handle everything. It's one of the organizations that's first class, and the Bay Area, the city would embrace a female coach. It would be talked about all around the world. I'm Lindsey Harden. She got the she was the first for the Stockton Kings out here. She was the first female head coach, and now she's with the Lakers. I Bleav she's still there or whatever as an assistant. And I think of Teresa Witherspoon. I'm getting a little off topic. She said she interviewed, I don't remember if it was an LA job or or what, but she interviewed, and she was like, one question she asked was like, because they kept at, they're interviewing her, are you ready for this position? And she was like, I had thought about it, and I was like, is the organization in the city ready for me? Are they ready for a female head coach? And that's a really, really, powerful question. And I think when you look at the Valkyries had one season, they're an expansion team, and you look at how the city rallied around, that squad and the environment. It was packing out the Chase Center just like Golden State. I think the Warriors would be able to handle that, and I think it'll be a great story.
And then you have folks like Steve Wilton in the chat saying, just stop it. We already live in a woke state. So basically he's saying that a female head coach would be a woke decision. I wouldn't go that far. I think that's a little extreme, Steve. And then Antonio Green actually coming to the defense of Mike Dunleavy Jr., saying, you tripping. He convinced the vets to wait it out and still sign Kaminga. So I apologize. I forgot that he made 5 calls this summer. Hey, look, man, the deal's sitting there. Just sit tight. All right, brother. Good talking to you. Like, that's okay. I apologize. I forgot Mike Dunleavy Jr. also threw in some phone calls to earn $250,000 over
he put down his pina colada and picked up the phone.
Yeah, he could multitask. Answering a call from Thorum, Mexico. Seth, what's up, man? Yeah, don't worry. Contracts, we're gonna sign you. You just gotta wait. All right, brother.
Horford, it'll happen. Just relax. Take it easy. Just be ready.
Oh my God, dude. So JK, 2 years, 48.5. The team option for the second year. The way this is spelled out is Kaminga can be traded after January 15th. So if the intention of the Warriors is to move him, they're not going to be able to do it until January 15th, and they're going to have approximately a month where they can see what's out there. And again, that's a huge if. I'm not jumping to that conclusion. A huge part of me wonders if this is set up so Kaminga is re-signed after this season to a new long-term extension that he likes. That's another possibility, right? Yeah. What's your take on just the contract in general with that team option for the second year? Any meaning behind it from your perspective?
Yeah, it's so, because I didn't expect it to happen today. I don't know. I don't know what I was really thinking was going to happen. It looks like anyone did. Yeah, that's so it's like kind of still, I'm still kind of in shock or whatever and trying to figure out what the heck just happened. But I think with going, I think Kaminga and Aaron Turner basically is like, well, let's not pass up on any money. Maybe there's an agreement that, or understanding that you can be traded at this deadline or whatever, the January deadline. And I think that if I'm somebody that wants to leave a job and they say, well, we can pay you this much, but we can't trade you or get rid of you till this date, I would be cool with that. So that can very well be, a part of what just happened. Why, because like you said, it's been on the table for months now.
Yeah.
So to do it now, maybe that's a part of the agreement. I seen a video of Terrence Bud Crawford, the boxer. He just fought Canelo Alvarez, and he said that it took 9 hours of negotiating with Canelo to get. He's like, he didn't get the terms that he wanted, but neither did he. But we figured out somewhere in the middle, but it took 9 hours. And I think this was 9 hours stretched into 3 months. And I think that's where we at. So I don't know if I believe Kaminga is full on board with the Warriors, but the good news is that he's there right now.
Exactly. And something stuck out to me in yesterday's media day, and I did an episode this morning with Sophia Jones. Side note, Mark, her dad, I'll try to, I just thought of this right now. I don't know why I didn't think of this sooner. I'm going to try to get her dad to join us. I mean, why not? He's calling your team's games and Dude's a legend. We'll get Mark Jones on the show soon. But this
Wait a
morning,
minute, that's her dad.
what's up? Yeah, you didn't know that?
I had no idea.
Yeah, and she played D1 basketball. Her background is set up.
Yeah.
And
Oh, that's dope.
she's a sweet person. She was my student at San Jose State. It was a complete coincidence that our paths even crossed. I'd met her dad before, and I'd known him over the years just from working in this industry. Like her dad and I actually watched a Warriors game together in Houston, Texas. It was a Warriors Rockets game. I was in Texas at the time. We just ended up sitting next to each other. Raymond Ritter just, the way those seats are blocked out for PR for teams, they're like very specific sections. Like I've sat next to Alvin Gentry's wife before and had a full game conversation with her once. And on this particular night, Mark, who I'd spoken to a bunch of times previously, but we're suddenly sitting next to each other. It's like, oh, hey. And anyways, Sophia Jones, fast forward like 7, 8 years. And all of a sudden, I see Sophia Jones. She's a basketball player. She's in my class. I don't think anything of it. And then I think she wrote like a story bringing up her basketball background. And I kind of saw that, and I was like, "Is your dad Mark?" And that's how it all started. Anyways, yeah. So we did a show this morning, and we both had the same intuitive feeling about Warriors Media Day the day before, which is the veterans were very calm about the Kaminga situation. Like none of them had even an inch, an ounce, whatever you want to use for your measurement, of panic. Like they were not worried about this in the slightest bit. And part of me wonders if they had a conversation with Kaminga, because I don't think they'd spoken much over the summer. And obviously the conversation's probably picked up a bit over the last few days. Part of me thinks maybe like they talked to him and were like, look, man, like just accept this thing. We've been through it. I promise you, because Stephen Curry's first extension was 4 years, $44 million. Yeah. And so maybe he told Kaminga, look, man, you're going to get more than I did for my first extension, right? Draymond Green's telling him you're going to make the same annually I make, right? And so maybe there were conversations there where they just calmed them down and were like, look, things will work out for you. Just come back and, deal with all the bullshit later. And the fact that he could have absolute freedom in as soon as a year and at the absolute latest 2 years, I'm sure that's enticing, right? One way or another, he can control his fate in 2 years, right? So that's probably something that's appealing for him as well. We shall see. So,
he's a Warrior for now.
He's a Warrior for now. I'm not sold that he's automatically going to be traded. I don't buy that rhetoric. I know some people believe it, and maybe it's true. I don't know. I'm just telling you my opinion. I'm not sold on the fact that that Kaminga is just here for the short term. They're going to trade him, and the reason why I believe that, who are you going to trade him for, right? If you're going to have that conversation, and I don't mind having it. Contrary to popular belief, I'm not a Kaminga stan. My argument from day one has always been just play him. Like we need to see what he's made of. And 4 years in, we still haven't seen it. Just play the goddamn kid, man. Let's find out what he is once and for all. And with that said, I'll happily have conversations about trading him, but you better come into that conversation with names. Who are you going to trade him for? What are you going to ship him out? And to what asset are you going to bring in that's going to make things better, right? Is it Trey Murphy III with the Pelicans? That's a popular name that's mentioned. But would the Pelicans want to trade him, right? I mean, you need to have a willing partner on the other side. So we shall see. We shall see. Right. And no, say in me, are you in France? Like what kind of name is that? Saying I'd cry if the Warriors traded Kaminga. I'd cry if they traded him for scraps. I'd be bummed if they traded him and didn't get a good return. Yeah, but no, I'm not attached to the individual. Not at all. So, we shall see. And then Nick Fensky adding that some of the audience should be traded. Yeah, maybe. So. Is there anything left about Kaminga we should talk about for tonight? Or is the subject done?
I think we're done for now with Kaminga. Right. I think I think we're still in shock. So I feel like there'll be another day of Kaminga talk coming up, but I think we're still like digesting this. It's like when you've been hungry all day and you eat a giant burger, but you barely chew it or whatever. That's kind of how this feels or whatever. It's a lot to chew.
Oh man, a couple people in the chat are bringing up trade Kaminga for Andrew Wiggins of the Heat. Look, if he's committed, maybe, but I mean, he's 30 this year. I don't know. That would not move the needle for me. But would you trade Kaminga for Andrew Wiggins?
Would I trade Kaminga for what? No, I would not.
Yeah, hell no, right? Yeah,
No,
hell
I would
no.
not.
Like, I would not even think about that.
I'm not one of those guys that like to let's try this again or whatever. It's like, when I was dating, I didn't date that way either. I didn't have like, this was my girlfriend, we broke up, and then she's my girlfriend. But what we move on. That's how I feel like that is. Like, it was fun. It was fun while it lasted.
Again, Wiggins turns 30. People forget when he first got traded to the Heat, they immediately went on a 10-game losing streak. The guy has massive commitment issues in terms of being dedicated. It is wild that a 2-month stretch of amazing basketball has convinced so many that he's worth all the headaches that come with like 2 months out of a 10+ year career. He played amazing basketball. The other 9 years and 9 months, he was in and out, inconsistent, sometimes couldn't shoot it all. And that's what you want back, all because of one brief moment that was incredible. Agree to disagree on that, Mark. And folks in the chat, it ain't just the family problems and the games he missed because of that. He just doesn't translate to winning basketball. Like, again, take out just that 2-month stretch. It was amazing. No dispute, no arguments from what was it, April? And take that whole year. Hell,
it was great.
Fine. He made the All-Star team that season. Take that 1 year. What about all the other years? Well, what about every other season where he's underachieved? You're just ignoring that. It is wild, man. It is wild stuff. Anyway, sentiment can make people believe crazy things. What about Seth Curry real fast, Mark? Like, I love this signing, dude. And even though technically he's not going to be fully available the first month of the season, he'll be participating in training camp, if my information is correct. That's been reported publicly. He's going to start the year not on the team because of the salary cap. And then he'll join, I believe, approximately November 15th. That's what reports are saying. Again, I am thrilled. I'm elated that Seth Curry is part of the Golden State Warriors. His shooting, his work ethic, his chemistry with Steph. I can't wait, dude. What are your thoughts on Seth Curry coming to the Warriors?
And like you said, his chemistry with Steph is, for me, that's the biggest thing. Like, when you look at, Steph in his career, like, he has nothing else that he needs to accomplish. He's one of one. He's one of the all-time greats. He's a champion, MVP. He's done it all. What hasn't he done is won a championship with his brother. And this is kind of like, I feel like it's similar to a situation with Bron and Bronny or whatever. Like, this is like extra motivation, I feel like, for Steph in year 16, 17, whatever it is. Extra motivation to do something special or whatever. And I think that would be special to, win a championship with your brother.
Hell yeah.
So, like, I think, and then you look at like what Giannis and what his brothers did or whatever, and how that, I think, Thanasis was somebody who was, a butt of all jokes for a long time from, his tenure there. But people in that locker room talked about how important it was to have Thanasis on the team and around
Jeff
Giannis.
Teague especially, right? Did you hear that story?
Yeah. And having him around Giannis every day, it makes a difference. I speaking of brothers or whatever, I shared media day in Sacramento for the first time with my brother Chris.
Bravo,
Haynes.
Bravo, dude. That deserves an applause. Where's our audience? There they are. Bravo.
The first one. And we actually got a picture, which we never really take pictures that much together or whatever. But somebody stopped and was like, I realized I never really see y'all, at the same time. It's like in passing.
Yeah.
whatever, whatnot. So it was really cool, and I was maybe that's why I'm feeling optimistic about the Sacramento Kings this season, whatever. Maybe. Well, actually, it's a couple of reasons. That might
Okay.
be a reason, and but also with my brother Chris, shout out to him and congratulations on the new gig with Amazon. So y'all be
Yeah.
able to catch
And
him.
in case people aren't familiar, for the audience, you talking about families, we mentioned Sophia Jones a moment ago. Her dad, Mark Jones, legendary play-by-play broadcaster. Your brother, Chris Haynes, legendary NBA journalist. I mean, wouldn't surprise me if one day he's a Kurt Gowdy award recipient, brother. I really believe that. Like he could. Like, anyways, go ahead. I'm sorry, man.
No, you're right. You're right. I try not to what they call it now, glaze him at too much or whatever, because he'll start rubbing it in. It was funny. Like a quick story at Media Day, we were talking to Keon Ellis. If anybody sees the Keon Ellis interview or whatever, you'll hear the interaction, but you won't see it. But meanwhile, Chris doesn't really do scrums and stuff that much or whatever, right? But he was there and he was involved or whatever, whatnot. And we were talking to, I forget who it was, but every time he tried to get in, somebody else said something. Somebody else said something. It was like 4 or 5 times, and then he tapped me on the shoulder. He was like, "I'm getting in on this next one. I'm gonna just keep talking until they stop." And he tried it, and it still didn't work. So the Kings PR had to help him out and get him in. So meanwhile, fast forward to the next person is Keon Ellis, and I had a question. And it started happening to me. I couldn't get in. And I'm like, so I tapped him. I was like, look, I'm going to show you how to do it. I'm getting in on this one. And he's like, all right. So then somebody else starts talking and I talk over them. They stop. But then Chris starts talking and pushes me in the back. It steals the question. And Keon's looking, he don't know what's going on, but we had a lot of fun or whatever. It was really cool, whatever. But media day in Sacramento was it was a breath of fresh air. It was a breath of fresh air.
Steve Wilton in the chat's asking, will the Kings have the cap room to extend Keegan Murray next season? I mean, bird rights alone should answer that question as a yes, but elaborate, please. And maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
Right. No, they can get a deal done with him. It's just a matter of, when or if Scott Perry wants to or whatever. We could look at a situation. It doesn't sound like it. It sounds like Scott Perry really likes Keegan. It sounds like Keegan is confident. Him and his agent is confident that they will get a deal done. So it's more of a matter of just, figuring out when or whatever. It could happen soon. It could happen. I forget what his deadline is or whatever. I forget. I don't want to say the wrong thing, but it's just a matter of when. I think a deal will get done. But it's not. That was kind of the assuring thing in Sacramento. It was the fact that everybody seemed like they were on the same page. Everybody, from Malik Monk, who, his name has been in the trade rumors the entire summer. He's been tied to anything that had to do with Kaminga. Malik Monk's name was there. And Malik said during his interview, he said that he spoke with Scott, and when the trade talks first started back in, was it July or early August or whatever, he was like, Scott said, they told him and his agent that if you're going to be traded, it's going to be now. If it's not now, don't worry about it.
There you go.
And he was like, he didn't worry about it. He said, like, he bought a house. He got some land. He got some acres.
Where do players buy land in the Sac area? Is it up Folsom?
I wanted to ask, but
Colorado Hills.
So I believe a lot of the guys live in Roseville and towards Folsom, probably a little deeper into like the Granite Bay area or whatnot. But some, I know some guys were in Natomas, in North Natomas. But yeah, he said he got him some acres, and Sacramento is home. So he's like, he's ever since then, he said he hasn't worried about it. Anytime his name popped up, he didn't care. And Kaminga was like, we had good company. We had conversation. We have an understanding of what's going on. So I think a deal will get done, and I don't think it's really going to be an issue.
Julian Bashir in the audience. He's a longtime Golden Dazer, but I also haven't seen this guy like all summer. Julian, where have you been? And he's probably a little surprised, like with this program tonight. Every Tuesday at 9 p.m., we're doing the I80 crossover where it's both Warriors and Kings talk. Great excuse just to get us together, man. That's really all this is. And Julian bringing up the name Kings Days. Nice backup. We want I80 crossover. Where were you like a month ago? That's not a bad item. Kings Days. Yeah, good stuff. Well, welcome back, Julian. Of course, like the moment Kaminga gets signed, he's back. And the war, it's crazy, man. The preseason is just around the corner. We're gonna have post-game shows for every one of these preseason games. Sunday, October 5th is the debut. So that's this Sunday. That's crazy. Basketball's back. Dude, when is the last time we've talked hoops, man? No more contractual bullshit. I'm elated. The Warriors are playing the Lakers Sunday at home. That game will be televised on ESPN. And it's back. What's the Kings' first preseason game? Do you know?
It was at the 8th, I believe.
Okay. So and the Warriors preseason schedule, Mark, while I'm saying this, if you don't mind pulling up your team's preseason schedule so you can read this next. The Warriors will have 5 preseason games. And again, we're going live after every one of these games. These will be fascinating to watch just to see basketball again, but also to see a lot of the Warriors' young players get some run because they're going to be pivotal this coming season. And we'll talk about that in just a moment. October 5th, this Sunday, Warriors hosting the Lakers. Wednesday, October 8th, the Warriors are hosting the Portland Trailblazers, a team that could be really good this year. Sunday, October 12th, the Warriors are at LA to take on the Lakers, not the Clippers. Then 2 days later, October 14th, Warriors and Trailblazers in Portland. And the Warriors finish up the preseason Friday, October 17th, hosting the LA Clippers. I'm a little surprised the Warriors and Kings don't have any preseason games, unless that's always been the case. My memory is failing me here. But 5 preseason games total for the Warriors. What's on the Kings docket for the preseason?
I'm still working on it. My bad. I had my son's phone, and I had to put in a password.
Oh, no. Do you want me to do it for you? I think I have it here.
Hold on. I just got it right now. Hold on.
Okay.
So,
all good.
Wednesday, October 8th. Raptors at Kings.
They play the Raptors in the preseason?
Yeah, this is so weird. And
that is weird.
Is how many games? Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, because 22nd. Yeah, 4. So they have 4 games. Raptors, Kings, Kings, Blazers, Clippers, Kings, Kings, Lakers. So 4 preseason games.
4 preseason games.
But
That's
the Raptors, yeah.
That is weird. Everything about that is bizarre.
Y'all have 5, right? You just named 5.
I named 5, but I feel like the Warriors always had more preseason games than usual. Maybe Steph's the reason why. So sell some extra tickets. I don't know.
Little cheat code there.
Mark, now that we can actually talk basketball, and again, Sunday is the preseason debut. One of the many questions, and again, I don't know if like the veterans, I haven't seen any news yet pertaining to Al Horford in terms of that being official. I also haven't seen any news yet pertaining to D'Anthony Melton, that news being official. They're expected to sign any moment. Maybe they've signed already at the time of this recording. But Al Horford is expected to be the starting center, and Warriors fans are excited about that, even with his age being 39. If he can resemble the Horford we've seen the last 5 years, that's a massive upgrade at the center position for the Golden State Warriors. Steph is clearly the starting point guard. Jimmy Butler is clearly the starting 3, but that leaves 2 positions that I don't think are quite settled. One is your starting 2 guard, a position that Brandon Podziemski took control of last season. I did not support that one bit. Brandon Podziemski is not a 2 guard to begin with. I think with DeAnthony Melton, you have an upgrade just with him. I'd rather have Buddy Hield starting. I'd rather have DeAnthony Melton was the starting 2 last year. If that's the plan they go with again this year, I'm elated with that. I love DeAnthony Melton. I love this Warriors team, period. I'm jonesing right now, man. Dub Nation, for whatever it's worth, my emotional feelings about this team, I'm jacked. Like, I'm not guaranteeing a championship this year, but I'm not ruling it out, man. I think the Warriors are very much in the running for a championship. I'm not being hyperbolic. I'm being dead serious. And on that note, I'm actually curious to know what their odds are to win a championship. But for the topic at hand, while I look that up, Mark, what are your thoughts, man? Who should be the starting 2 guard for your Golden State Warriors? And should Draymond stay as the starting 4, or has the time come for Kaminga to take that starting job and have Dre come off the bench? The Warriors did do that for a month last year. This is not like a foreign concept. And it wasn't a failure of a project either. Kaminga's in that 1 month actually got minutes and he delivered. What are your thoughts on that, man? Who should be starting?
I would think that has been a conversation that has had over the last, few weeks or months or whatever we want to call it or whatever.
Yeah, real quick, Moses Moody, I ignored his name. I wouldn't hate him starting at the 2 either. Andres Million, Armando's cousin. Thank you for that. I love Moody. Sorry to interrupt you, brother. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't be surprised if that was a conversation, but at the same time, too, we are living in a state of, positionless basketball. Would it be criminal to move Jimmy Butler to the shooting guard and start Kaminga at the 3?
Kerr would never do that. That's why I don't propose.
But yeah,
would make sense. Yeah,
yeah, but I would think this was a part of, as much as contracts was the issue, Kaminga role with the team it's been a clear issue. So I would imagine that there's been talk about what are we expecting from you? What are we going to do with you? Are you going to start or whatever? And, maybe Draymond says, look, man, if you sign this deal, I'll take a back seat per se to, keep you here or whatever, whatnot. I'm curious to figure out, like, when you guys get to talk to Jonathan Kuminga, what he says when you finally get that opportunity, because I think he's a guy that's going to speak his mind. I think he's in position to speak his mind. Like, you don't have anything to lose. You got your money, you got the deal that you kind of want. So I'm kind of interested to see what he's going to say, because it's so many things, so many angles you could we could take this and we can speculate with it. That it's crazy. Like, we haven't seen. I don't even remember the last time we seen something like of this magnitude, within the NBA or whatever. It's just a really, really bizarre, situation.
Very bizarre, dude. So in your opinion, factoring in Steve Kerr, and side note of what you brought up with Jimmy Butler, we already started to get a little taste of it this summer. I don't know if you saw that attribution. Jimmy Butler, and I forgot where the quote came from, but Jimmy Butler was quoted, and I'm paraphrasing. It wasn't like verbatim that he said this, but to hopefully summarize accurately, he said something to the extent of, like, what's going on here? What are we doing? And it was the first time he actually started griping a little bit. I loved it. To me, if that's the taste of things to come, and especially if it comes in terms of criticizing nonsensical coaching decisions, chef's kiss. I'm all for that, dude. Jimmy, speak your mind, brother, because you're making more sense than that coaching staff is most of the time. So who's your starting 2, dude? Is it, and here are your options again: Brandon Podziemski, DeAnthony Melton. Let's throw in Seth Curry, but he's not going to play the first month. So let's not include him, actually. So DeAnthony Melton, Brandon Podziemski, Moses Moody, Buddy Hield. Who's your starting 2?
If it's me, I like Melton. I like Melton.
And if you're Kerr, if you're trying to read Kerr's mind,
if I'm Kerr, Paz is a starter. He's starting at the 2.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Damn it. I hope that's not
Jack Harlow will be The Golden State Warriors
dude.
2 guard. Like that, yeah, I would bet on that.
Oh my God, really?
I would bet on that.
Oh boy. And again, my hope that that's not the case is, again, DeAnthony Melton was the starting two a year ago. And Steve Kerr, at least he's talking like someone who's willing to adapt. But until we see it, it's going to be hard to believe. What about the 4 position? Is Draymond, who, side note, yesterday at Media Day did emphasize that he prefers playing the 4, just like every player in the Warriors likes to remind the public what the position is that they're most comfortable with. Draymond has never been shy about that. He prefers playing the 4. He'll play the small ball center if need be. But is he going to be your starting 4, or will Kaminga come in and mix it up and maybe bring some explosiveness offensively, an easier option to collapse the paint, to open up opportunities for your shooters? Your thoughts and with Al Horford, especially as your 5, my Lord, who's your starting power forward? Is it going to be Draymond again, or do you think he'd be willing to maybe take a 6th man role and let Kaminga step up?
I think Draymond would be willing to come off the bench. I think especially if because Draymond's all about winning. If he feels like they have a real legitimate shot at winning a chip, but Jonathan Kuminga has to be the starter, I think he would take that back row.
Yeah, he already did.
Yeah, exactly. So I would imagine, like I said, with how things went, I would imagine the 4 position would go to Jonathan Kuminga, especially if the organization is trying to keep him. Now, if he's on the bench, then I think is rightfully so. The trade rumors are going to start back up.
And you're absolutely right. I agree with you wholeheartedly. And again, he started last year, so it's not like a foreign concept that. Right. And we're not talking about who's closing games. We're talking about just who's starting. By the way, Sharia, please forgive me for that. I'm going to attempt it. I'm probably going to butcher it. Last name, Farkaharson.
Well, I think you got it.
Anyway, she came on the show last week. If this is the same Sharia, and she killed it, dude. So thank you, Sharia, for subscribing. You're now an official Golden Dazer, and hopefully you come back soon. I want you to join the program as part of the live audience. So you mentioned the Kings starters. Who's coming off the bench, man? And let me rephrase that question. Who's coming off the bench who's actually gonna play? Because NBA teams have 14, maybe 15 players on their roster at all times. There's a little wiggle room there. I think teams are allotted something like 3 weeks where you can dip below 14 to 13. But realistically, pragmatically speaking, who are the bench players for the Kings that are actually going to get minutes?
Well, I think obviously Malik Monk, he's going to be the guy that's playing every single night. I think we're going to see Drew Eubanks every night. I think Maxime Reynaud is going to be battling. It's really going to be with Drew. It's going to be a matter of if he's outperforming the rookie. Everybody's speaking very, very highly of Maxime Reynaud, and I think he has a real shot.
Rookie? Like he got drafted this last season?
Yeah. He's the second round, 34 or something pick or whatever from Stanford. Everybody's talking about how smart he is, and he could stretch the floor at the 5 position. He's a legit 7-1, I believe, or whatever. And I do think the first round rookie, Nick Clifford, I do think he'll get an opportunity to play. But I think Keon Ellis, I think Malik Monk, Keon Ellis,
that Maxine guy.
I'm saying Drew go play more than Maxine from the start. But I could see that switching. I think the Kings have a lot of question marks outside of that starting 5. And it's going to be Doug Christie's going to really have to do, a really good managing job with figuring out rotations. Because you got, Devin Carter, last year's first round pick, who, he did well in the G League. He performed in Summer League. But that's a totally different game than, playing for the Sacramento Kings. They don't need you to do these certain things. But if he's able to knock down shots and defend at a high level, I think, and that's what I think it's all going to come down to, is knocking down open shots when you get it and defending 94 feet. And that's one thing that, Malik has been criticized for, his defense in the past or whatever, but he's so explosive, offensively that, he is who he is or whatever. But I think the guys that's able to play, hard-nosed defense, because that was the one thing that stuck out to me when I think back on the Beam team, the first Kings team that started it all, and I felt like,
but
this
2022,
season,
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
This season feels, or this media day feels a lot like that media day.
Interesting.
The one thing that was weird to me, in year 2 of that team with Mike Brown, is they immediately came back in, speaking about championships. Like, we want to compete for a championship. And I was like, man, that's fast turnaround. Like, I understand, Mike Brown just came from winning with the Warriors and stuff, and obviously he knows his stuff, but I was like, that's just a fast turnaround. But that first Beam team and this team, they're talking about creating identities.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the start. And that's the big thing Scott Perry has been preaching through to media, to the team. And the team is, the players are reiterating that, is that they want to create an identity. And no good team, wins a championship or wins at a high level without an identity. So I think the fact that that's the main focus this season, I think the over-under was 35 games or whatever. After media day, I'm saying, yeah, bet the over. Bet the over. I think this team is going to be similar to that team and shock some people. DeMar DeRozan talked about how, he has a chip on his shoulder. He's like, they said they're looking at the media and all the people who say they go suck, and they're taking notes. So that, this is a team that they said they want to be one of the toughest teams in the league. They want to be physical. They want to play defense 94 feet, and no other team is doing that. So if they can go out and execute their plan, I think they could do some good. I ain't gonna say special, because special means, we go deep. But I think they could be a lot better than expected. And my personal X factor, it's the one and only Keegan Murray. Keegan Murray is my X factor, and Keegan Murray is the reason why I'm optimistic about this team now. He's the one changed my mood on what I thought this team would be. Because one, I don't know if you know much about Keegan and his personality or lack thereof. Like,
I know nothing about him other than what you've said, that he got married this summer. That's about, and he has a brother. Yeah.
Yeah. There's Kawhi Leonard, right? And Kawhi, he doesn't talk, he doesn't smile, he doesn't laugh, doesn't do much. If there's somebody else similar to Kawhi Leonard, it's Keegan Murray. Keegan Murray, he does it. I think he knows it too. I always like ask him kind of random questions to try to get him to crack a smile or whatever. And he kind of usually looks at me like to try to figure out what I'm gonna say next, because he's got a stone face or whatever. But when I seen him yesterday, he walked by me. He's never done this, and I think we have a good relationship. But he walked by me, and he reached out to shake my hand. He was like, "Hey, good. It's nice to see you." And he said it with a smile. And Chris looked at me. He was like, "I think Keegan might have turned a new leaf. Like, this is different." Because Keegan he's straight faced all the time, but when he went and talked, he's more,
manly.
This Keegan is
You're saying he did that? You got him to laugh?
Keegan is number 2. I've gotten him to crack smile a few times, but yeah, he shook my hand with a smile, saying, "Hey man, nice to see you." And then he was, pleasant in his during his interview. And what stood out is when I asked him about his goals and if he had any personal goals this year, and he said, "Well, yeah, one." He said, "I want to get back to shooting, 40% from 3." And he was like, "And I also want to be on the list of most improved players."
Ooh, okay.
And I was like, if he can do that, if he can be on the most improved players list or win it, that means the Sacramento Kings would be a good team, because
Huge
that's
if.
what
Huge if.
that's it. It's an if, but
All right, but you're feeling good about things.
Hold on, I take that back, Cyrus. I'm not going to accept that huge if. I'm saying it's gonna happen. I'm with Keegan Murray. That's my goal too. I'm putting it on the line right now because I'm jumping on the fanboy bandwagon right now today. As of today, obviously we know when season start, things could change. But as of today, Keegan Murray's gonna be on that list, and the Sacramento Kings are gonna win 45 plus this year.
Wow. So the OU courtesy of FanDuel is 34.5. You're saying they're going to blow that number.
That's right. Light that beam. That's
my God.
Yeah.
All right. So the Warriors, by the way, again, their OU is 45.5. That has not changed. I feel good about the over for that. Most improved player, real quick. I want to look that up just to see where your boy is listed in terms of the odds. So courtesy, I'll let me share my screen so you can see it. Visual aesthetic. By the way, Nick Fenske's asking, who is the Kings' backup center?
Drew Eubanks and
okay, there you go.
Maxine right now.
There you go, Drew Eubanks. So and here are the odds for most improved player. Again, this is courtesy of FanDuel. Let me zoom in a little bit here. No, that did not work. So let me zoom back out. Okay, we'll just deal with what we can see. Amon Thompson is your favorite, plus 900. And then Andrew Nembhard plus 1,000. Denny Avdia.
Those are not most improved to me, man. They're
I hear you.
Yeah, but yeah.
And then Ozzer Thompson, Amon's twin brother, plus 1,600. Buzelis plus 1,900. Shaden Sharp plus 2,200. Benedict, I'll just start naming names.
Those
Benedict Mathurin, Jaden Ivey, Josh Giddey, Michael Porter Jr. Don't bet on that one. Peyton Pritchard, Jalen Johnson. It keeps going. Let's see if your boy's even listed. I'm just because
that's what we do. We come out of nowhere and we finish at the top. That's what we do in the 916. Nobody thought nobody thought in 2022 that team was gonna be as good as they were. And that's what's gonna happen this year.
Derek Lively plus 10,000. Did you hear the story that he supposedly grew 2 inches this offseason? He's now 7'3", supposedly. But that's scary.
It's probably the hair.
So Brandon Pajemski has higher odds than Keegan Murray. Brandon Pajemski, you can bet on him to win most improved player plus 12,500. Let's see. I'm still looking for Keegan. We're still scrolling.
Yeah, this is
still,
and I'm still not.
There is it. Is lower odds than Quinton Post. Oh, they're tied. They're tied. So Quinton Post and Keegan Murray both have plus 25,000. Put your money down on Keegan, dude. If look, you're getting an endorsement from Mark Haynes telling you he's already feeling it. The bookies are giving you outstanding odds, plus 25,000. Put a few bucks down on Quinton Post while you're at it too. But my Lord, look at Bronny, dead last, plus 50,000 odds. But Keegan Murray, there you go. So you're feeling good about that, huh?
Feeling good, man. The smile said it all. That was such an improved, gesture right there from Keegan, and on day one. So yeah, like Malik Monk said, he want to see him dunk and yell at somebody. I think we go get that this season.
That's incredible. I'm so happy basketball's back, dude. Yeah. This was one of the worst experience. This summer was just a nightmare, man. When it comes to the Golden State Warriors, absolute nightmare. 3 months. and now we're talking hoops again. I'm bubbling.
I was looking forward to it too. Like I thought this summer was gonna be like, I don't know.
Me
something.
too.
Yeah,
I didn't. No one expected this.
Nothing. Weren't they like advertising it like this is gonna be like one of the greatest ones ever? I feel like this was
Well,
like
Shams had the quote that everyone mocked, which was, I think his line was, "This is going to be the craziest offseason ever." And look, I mean,
he was right.
Crazy.
I don't see a lie.
Yeah,
Because wow.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
So underwhelming.
It is, and the odds for to win the championship. Here, I'll share my screen again because this stuff's fun, at least to me. The Thunder, no surprise, are favorites again to repeat, and we haven't had a repeat champion since the Golden State Warriors in 2018. OKC is favored to do so plus 210, and then it drops to Cleveland. So Cleveland's the favorite to come out of the East over the Knicks. I'm a little surprised by that. Are you?
Same. Yeah, same.
That's interesting. That's interesting. Yeah, me too. To me, the Knicks, I mean, they made so many good moves this offseason. I feel like everything they should have done, they did. Like Jordan Clarkson as a backup guard, like fantastic, dude. And they got the guy from France who was on Philly last year. What's his name? Yabusele. They had depth issues and they answered that. Same with the Nuggets. Nuggets, another team that I thought had a stellar offseason. The Nuggets are the second, have the second highest odds coming out of the West, plus 750. This is always a laugh, dude. And it represents the Laker fan base that they are plus 1,400. The Lakers have the 5th best odds to win the championship. That is a joke. And again, it represents not accuracy in terms of what the bookies think are going to happen. It represents what they think the public thinks. And Laker fans, there's a lot of them out there. It's delusionment times 1,000, and that's why you have the Lakers with the 5th highest odds. They're even ahead of the Rockets, dude. That is crazy shit, man. Yeah. Golden State Warriors are plus 2,700. That's what are they? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm just curious to see what number they are. So they have the 10th best odds to win the title. The Sacramento Kings.
Yeah, where is the we're looking at this disrespect here. Where are we being disrespected at this time?
Plus 70,000. But look, it's not like utter disrespect. I mean, yeah, it kind of is. So you have the 30, 29, 28, 27, 20. You have the 24th out of 30 teams best odds to win the championship. Yeah, it's disrespectful. This Portland Trailblazers, like, I'm a little surprised. I'm not going to lie that your squad's ahead of Portland. I think Portland actually might be good this year. Maybe I'm wrong.
They look good at the end of last year. They
did, and they do, and they have young pieces that I personally like a lot. So there you go. That's your.
I know if the Kings win the chip, now this is a big if, but if they win the chip, I think they should keep the beam lit, like for 2-3 weeks, just straight. Just let it daytime, nighttime. just keep it on. Like, don't turn it off. It won't even be like the beam no more. It'll be the beam is lit. That's what it is. Whatever.
Can you see the beam during the day?
So I'm assuming no, because there only been a handful of day games, and they lost pretty much all day games. And I could be wrong. But they lost all the day games except I remember last year they won one, and they didn't light it till that night. So I'm assuming you can't see it.
I would agree with that sentiment. I don't think you'd be able to see that either. I brought up the Lakers a moment ago. Oh, here it is. I found it. And there's a post that I feel needs to be shared with the audience pertaining to the Laker fan base. And you can't make this shit up. Mark, I sent this to you as a DM about a week ago. And the entire audience needs to see this because it is one of the funniest things I've seen in recent history. And if you've been around sports long enough, this would make sense. The Los Angeles Lakers, let me set this up for you real fast, had what was called an event, and it was called the Lakers Girls Lunch Date. And this was a promotion in which fans could win a lunch date with the Laker girls at Carl's Jr. I don't know what year this happened. This post from Sportsville on Instagram doesn't date when this actually happened. So, let's let the audience enjoy this for themselves. And Mark, you've seen this before, and this is your Laker fan base for you, and this is why I'm mocking them, because this is comedy. So these are your Laker girls. That's a real human being right there. What would you guess? 5 feet 2 inches tall?
Yeah,
pretty small. So
either that or those, are some tall women that could be helping the Los Angeles Sparks. Because
that's a possibility too. You're right.
Like, they are.
Let me get some music.
I
for
mean,
this.
I was, when you sent it to me, I wasn't sure if it was like real or if it was like.
It's real. It's real. It's very real.
Yeah,
which is what makes this so funny.
Shout out!
He's one of the more normal looking dudes. Yeah.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Here's another Lakers fan, and
so he's taller.
He's taller, yeah. And again, these ladies are so professional. Like, they do, like wait until you see some of these characters, man. I mean, look, dude, the fanny pack.
That is
how high up the pants are. The gap tooth. I don't even know what kind of hat that is or what's beneath the hat.
He digging the purple threads for Laker Nation.
Pants, man.
Team spirit.
What kind of, is that multiple fanny packs, or is that one fanny pack with like 5 different pouches? I can't tell.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to figure out. I can't tell either.
We got this Artie Lang impersonator. Look at the gut showing a little bit at the bottom.
Oh yeah, that's what the ladies like.
And they're, again, pros. They're being cool about all of this, man. Does this show on the screen? Okay, it does. Okay. We continue. He looks kind of normal with the I'm loving it shirt.
That's McDonald's one.
Oh, is that what that is? Is that Carl's Jr.? This dude's like, is he doing something inappropriate in the middle of this photo? This guy looks like a winner. What is his shirt name?
Good old Lakers.
We got
what's wild about this is like this is at Carl's Jr. Yes. Like, I wonder what they ate.
Another winner. God, respect to the ladies. Like, this guy, I mean, oof.
My man.
We saw him already. Oh, this guy's a winner. I mean, look at the stains on the shirt. It's got like the moo shirt.
That's the remember the Carl's Jr. slogan, the one of the most popular ones. I wish they never got rid of it, but it's like, if it doesn't get all over the place, it doesn't belong in your face. And that's still my favorite burger there, the double Western bacon cheeseburger. I was always
I haven't eaten a Carl's Jr. in years. When I was in college, we grubbed on that all the time, and the fried zucchini with ranch was a winner. I don't know if they still serve that. Do they? Have you ever had the fried zucchini?
I'm not that fancy, so my burgers are plain. Usually meat, cheese, bacon, barbecue sauce, but that's about it. But this is like
normal. Just on the smaller side.
This is quality. Like, there's been that thing going around about where you could take women out on a first date, and like you can't take women to Cheesecake Factory. Like, they got to take Laker girls to Carl's Jr.
Yeah, or they met him there. Yeah. Wait, Cheesecake Factory? I haven't been to one of those in years either, but that's no longer or never was.
That's unacceptable. If you're taking a woman out on the first date, you're not supposed to go to Cheesecake Factory.
Okay. That's news to me, man. I thought Cheesecake Factory had a level of class to it. It does not.
I thought so too. I don't know, but it's different. But back then, obviously, you could get the Laker girls at Carl's Jr. You'd be just fine.
Carl's Jr., man. Those are some winners. And you're right. My reaction was similar to yours when I first saw that. I'm like, this can't be real. This is AI or something. But then I thought to myself, all those years when I was working in radio, and we'd have to do what's called a fan fest. You ever been to one of those?
The team ones or
like there's Giants Fan Fest, A's Fan Fest. It's an event. It's like media day, but it's for fans, basically.
Right.
And if you've ever been to one of those, that visual would not surprise you anymore. Like that's who shows up.
That's where Chris Brown got the idea of the meet and greet pictures and stuff. His thing is funny too.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, are we done? I mean, look. To summarize, again, I'm bursting with joy right now, man.
Yeah.
I have not been happy like this in a long ass time. I feel relief. And I cannot begin to tell you folks how optimistic I am about this Warriors team, dude. And here's a huge reason why, Mark. And let me know what you think about this as someone with an outside perspective, thus having far less bias and maybe a little more reality behind your opinion. There's a lot of criticism for the Warriors based off their age, right? Jimmy Butler, Dre, Steph, they're old as dirt. There's no mistake in that. Al Horford is a grandpa. I mean, what does he have, like 6 kids in reality? And if you told me that the first one was going to have a kid at some point, wouldn't surprise me that much. So he could be a grandpa soon. That's an old core. But with that said, when you look at the young pieces and you look at the depth, dude, again, I'm so optimistic, dude. Like, first of all, Kaminga, Pajemski, Guy Santos, like Quentin Post. We haven't even mentioned Trace Jackson Davis's name, largely because he's so buried in the bench, but he's not a bad player, man. And these are young pieces who will be getting a lot of minutes on a lot of nights, especially on back-to-backs. And that's on top of veterans like Seth Curry, like Buddy Hield, like DeAnthony Melton. Like they are deep. This is a team that reminds me a lot of the strength in numbers years, where you might be dipping 14 players into your bench on any given night. Haven't even mentioned GP2 yet, who side note, I really hope does not get more than 10 minutes a night. It always concerns me when Kerr starts over-relying on players like that as crutches, if you will. With that said, brother, I love this team. I love this team. The only difference, the only change I would have made is replacing Al Horford with someone a little bit taller and more athletic, so you have better shot blocking. But if Horford stays healthy, I still love that pick. I love this Warriors team, dude. I think they're going to compete for a championship this year. Steve Kerr's talking like this is a championship or bust season. There's a last dance vibe to it. Sign me up. I think this could happen this year, man. I'm feeling great. Your thoughts?
Yeah, no, I think for one, I think you guys have a good team. I think they're solid. When I think of their age, I think of their age when it comes to Draymond and Jimmy, but I don't see age when I see Steph. I see Steph Curry, and it's the same with LeBron. Obviously, they're not the same as they were, 5 to 10 years ago or whatever. Things have changed, but they're able to adapt their games, so well, and to what they need to as for their team. I think Steph is going to have a crazy year like he always do. I don't think we're going to see a 30, what is he, 30, about to be 37 or whatever. Whatnot.
He's 37 now, he'll be 38 in March.
38, so yeah, we're the same age. Yeah, so he's about to be 38, and I know how my body feel at 38. and I know when I look at him, he's not moving anything like me or anything like a normal 38-year-old. No. He's not human. I don't see age with him, so I think that's going to be the biggest key. When you got one of the best players in the world, you're always going to have a shot. And then you add the depth around him or whatever. As long as the Warriors can stay healthy, I think the Warriors are going to be a problem. And
all these young pieces, it's important to note, like they're expected to be better this year. That's what young players do. In the same way how you feel about Keegan Murray, another young piece. The Warriors have 4 or 5 of these guys. Moses Moody, I forgot to mention his name, another young piece who I'm expecting growth and progress. Degenerate Dad in the chat saying, are you sure you're happy with the team? I heard and saw complaints all summer. What the hell else was I supposed to say all summer? What was anybody positive? What was there to be positive about? Come on, man. Like, this summer was nothing but negative. It was a void. It was just a black void of nothingness, talking about a contract standoff. Come on, man. Like the summer does not represent anything in terms of what we're talking about now. That is distant history. The Warriors have a team again. Kaminga's back. They've got youth. They've got veterans. They've got, look, size. If you want to criticize them for that, I could understand that a bit.
You know what else they have, Cyrus? You know what else the Warriors have? They have a problem waiting on them down this 80 freeway in the Sacramento Kings. That's what they got. Y'all have a problem.
And you saw those odds, by the way. Quinton Post with equal odds with Keegan Murray. I saw Quinton Post at Media Day. He looks jacked, dude. He got bigger from a year ago. He doesn't look like a skinny rookie. He looks like someone who might step up. And again, when we talk about size, you're going to need that. So that's how I feel about my team that I cover, the Golden State Warriors, and the team that I love. Sometimes, unfortunately, it sucks when you have a team that actually affects you emotionally. That happens, sadly, in my case. Who's your team? Is it the Kings? And give us a final breakdown of the Kings as we for the preseason just around the corner.
Yeah, so I don't have a team. My team, LeBron messed that up for me when I was growing up and being a fan of his. He bounced around so much that now I'm just an NBA journalist that I cover the Kings. But I'm rolling with the Kings when it comes to this I80 crossover we're doing. I really do. And all jokes aside, I really do think this team is going to be better than expected. It's just a lot of I understand it's a lot of questions out there as far as like, how is that going to happen? But I think with getting a training camp, under their belt, Zach LaVine came over, via trade midway through the year. It looked like he was kind of tiptoeing around, trying to figure out, where he belonged or where he could help. I think this with getting a full training camp in, like he mentioned, it'll be time where guys could get on each other, guys could kind of figure each other out. I think that's going to be very helpful. I really think the Sacramento Kings team is going to be that surprise team in the Western Conference, because the Western Conference, when you look at it on paper, man, it's just so stacked, and it's like
unreal.
We're
gonna do our over under.
We gotta finish that,
next week. We were supposed to do that today, but then the Kaminga thing happened, and so Frank Red will be back with us next week. But yeah, we did one division, I think the Southwest, and that's just one of 3 divisions in the West, dude. There are virtually no bad teams. Like, who are the worst teams in the West? Is it Utah? Is that the worst?
Yeah, that's got to be the worst.
And then
that's got to.
And that's it. I mean,
everybody else has an opportunity to be good.
Insane.
So that's why but when I look at Sacramento, when I look at the front office and the coaches that they brought in or whatever, I think they made a lot of moves internally that is going to help this team be better than they were last year. So I think they'll surprise some people. I think I think they're going to beat the odds. Now, what does that mean? Is they go get to what I said earlier, 45 games? I'm gonna stick to 45 games, but will they actually get there? I probably wouldn't put money on it, but I'm saying 45. But I do think.
Fast. I swear it was like 10 minutes ago you were ready to put money down, and you're already taking the money off the table.
Yeah, I know. I ran out of water. That's all. That's all it was.
But Phoenix is another team. Okay, so in the West, if we're talking about bad teams, Utah and Phoenix, I think, are your 2 teams. And then you could argue, look, I know you have high hopes for your Sacramento Kings, but it could go bad. It could.
It could definitely. Like, there's no in between. Like, they're either going to be like, they're going to somehow figure out a way to get into like top 6. or they're gonna be at the bottom. Like I don't think play-in is gonna be an option this year. So it's either gonna be a great year or it's gonna be bad.
Let me, before we go real quick, I want to review the conferences and just make a brief prediction on where we think things are going to go. So I'm going to display the Western Conference for you folks here. Can you see that? See that? Okay.
I can figure it out.
Oh no, don't worry. Okay, don't worry about it. It's okay. So again, not 10 teams make some iteration of the postseason when you factor in the play-ins.
Right.
8 teams actually make the playoffs out of the play-in tournament. Top 6 are guaranteed, and then you have the play-in to figure out who the 7 and 8 seeds are.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of locks, like teams that I think we all feel safely will be in the playoffs. Denver is 1, right?
Yeah.
Houston is 2. OKC is 3. Where is OK? Oh, there we are. I'm gonna say Warriors. I don't know if everyone would say that. I'm gonna say it. I think the Warriors are a lock. 4. Mavericks. T-Wolves.
Because Mavs are without Kyrie
for a while, yeah.
T-Wolves, I would say, yeah.
Okay, so that's 5. So we have 5 teams that we feel. What about Clippers?
Long as Kawhi's playing, yeah.
6. Lakers.
Yeah.
7. Spurs.
Yeah. See, we're going to go on a lot of yes, because then there's Spurs.
Well, that's how deep this conference is. Yeah, so let's go through it first real fast. So that's 8. What about the Memphis Grizzlies?
Yeah.
So that's 9. All right, and again, this is I'm spelling out for you how difficult this conference is going to be.
Right.
Those are 9 teams we feel good about making the postseason. What about the Pelicans?
I like them.
And who knows what's going to happen with that team, right? They could also be very bad, but then again, Zion could step up, right? Okay, so that's 10, and we haven't even touched on your Kings yet. This is the West, dude.
Yeah.
So now who do you have left? You have Sacramento, Portland, Phoenix, and Utah. And there's one more that I forgot. Hold on.
Who do we miss?
Because there's 15 teams, right? Well, we covered them all.
You said Portland, right? Yeah, you said Portland.
Something up, but yeah. So that's 15. Anyways, that just goes to show the West is stacked.
Yeah. The thing is, somebody has to lose every night. Somebody has to lose. But
R. Jonesy's saying that why are we sold on the Grizz? That they might not make it, right? You're right, and that's why I didn't mention their name until about the 8th or 9th team. Maybe they're not, and you're right. Maybe the Pelicans will be asked. We don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But even if that's true, let's say for the sake of argument, R. Jonesy, you're right. Grizz are ass, Pelicans are ass, bunch of Asperger's, not the disease or the condition, whatever that's called.
That would move Kings up.
Now the Kings are getting moved up. Yeah. Now maybe the Spurs are getting moved up.
Because that's all very true. Like the Suns can be very bad.
Yeah. I think the Suns will be bad. I think the Suns are going to be one of the worst teams in the West this year. I think. And R. Jonesy adding, like, this is why this person hates when people say the West is so stacked. But again, it wasn't hard for us to reach 10 teams. 10 when only 8 make the playoffs. And R. Jonesy, type in the chat if you don't mind, like which teams in the West do you think are actually bad? Because even if the Grizzlies aren't a lock, I'm not going to call them a bad team. Even if the Pelicans end up being ass, there's so much talent on that team. It's not a walkover game on a night-by-night basis. I mean, Murphy III, who everyone loves, like he's just one of like 7 or 8 really talented players on that squad, man.
Then you think about last year, obviously it was just 20 games in, but before they got hurt, I think they were like the number one or 2 seed in the West until everybody just got hurt. It was like injuries killed them every single year. If they're healthy,
the West
they can
is
be
stacked.
good.
dude. I still can't believe the Kings are playing the Raptors in the preseason. Like who came up with that? Like,
that's super random.
why are you like why are there like gnarly travel schedules for a preseason game? Like, yeah, that is random. That's really random. So the Sacramento Kings, I'm looking at their preseason schedule. Their first game, like you said, at least it's in Sacramento. So Toronto's traveling here,
right,
to Northern California, and then you said they have 4 games total: home against Toronto, at Portland, home against LA, at the Lakers. Okay, so the Raptors is the only weird one, and they're at home. So it's not too kooky.
Right.
The Kings. I mean, if you're Toronto, it's like, why are you traveling all the way to Sac? Are the Raptors going to be a bad team, right? I think.
Yeah, they're making TikToks and stuff or whatever already, so that's never good unless you're Jared McCain. That's the only time it works. But he just can't stay healthy now.
You're right, dude. What did he do? He sprained his pinky toe?
Yeah, or thumb, I think. I think it's the shooting thumb. Last year, ACL, and this year thumb or whatever. Yeah, so
corrected. Poor guy broke a nail. All right. Anything else? Are we done? I know you got a family to go to. I got a puppy to go to.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna have some sweet dreams for the first time in 3+ months.
Oh yeah.
I'm loving it, dude.
I think we can wrap this up.
I love it. We're here every Tuesday night, man. Next Tuesday we'll finish the OU show. I'm proud of what we did last week, dude. We did a comprehensive preview of 15 NBA teams. We're going to finish up next week with 15 more. But for tonight, man, big news coming out of San Francisco. Jonathan Kuminga is back. Seth Curry's coming back. I think the Al Horford and D'Anthony Melton signings should be official at any moment. And then over in Sacramento, up the I-80, you have Mark Haynes and his brother Chris owning the scene at Media Day. You got Mark elated about the Kings, thinking they're going to go over 45 wins. That's a bold take, by the way.
That's right. Top 6. We in there now. But that's how I'm feeling today, man. Last day of September, going into October, I'm feeling good. In October, you know what happens in October? Things get spooky. And that's what the Sacramento Kings gonna do once the season starts. It's gonna get real spooky out there.
Yes, sir. We'll be back soon. Armando Laura, the professor, has been in the chat tonight, killing it. Him and I will reconvene Friday for happy hour at the latest. I'm sure we'll be live sooner than that. So stay tuned. What do you have coming up, man, before we go?
Nothing much, man. Just my article, my interview with Scott Perry, the GM of the Kings, will be out this weekend. So be on the lookout for that. I'll be posting it all over my social media so you won't miss it. But other than that, man, just covering the Sacramento Kings and figuring out what's next, figuring out how they're going to get to these 45 wins that I put out there today.
That's fascinating, dude. Well, again, people can follow you on social media, whether it's Twitter, Threads. Are you on Blue Sky? Are you doing that?
I am
okay.
Actually. I'm on Blue Sky, and somebody sent me a really nice tweet on there. I forget their name or whatever. I have to shout them out another time. But yeah, man, Blue Sky, pretty much anywhere you could think of. At Mark Haynes NBA, you can find me.
Beautiful. And one more time, promote your YouTube channel, which includes Bleav In Kings, but you're also covering football, which is we're well into the season now. The 49ers, dude. I mean, they've got problems.
Yeah, man, lost Nick Bosa, and it's getting ugly. But yeah, you can follow our
the Closers,
channel, right? Yeah, the Closers Sports. All you gotta do is type in the Closers, and we should pop up. You should see a black and orange logo, and that's us. So you can find everything that I'm doing there, and the guys that I'm working with.
I love it, man. Well, at the latest, I'll see you next week. Again, follow this program on social media at Golden Days Pod. for all updates. Otherwise, sweet dreams, everybody. I'm gonna have some. I'm stoked on my Warriors, and Mark's stoked on the Kings. So if you're a Kings fan, kudos to you, man. That is a voice of optimism right there. Bravo. Thank you, everybody. We good? We out?
Yes, sir.
All right. Bye-bye, everybody.